Hey, sports fans, this is Robert with WTP Sports Dudes here live this morning for another edition of Talking Sports Sunday. We're going to be talking some NBA All-Star action, Saturday's college football action, basketball action, and more this morning. We got our homegirl, Melissa Graham, in the building with us. How you feeling this morning, Melissa?
Listen, I haven't finished my coffee yet, so you're going to have to tone it down just a second.
You know, I'm always coming in loud. We also got our man, Moss Bird of Level Up Sports 10 with us this morning. How you feeling, Moss Bird?
I'm feeling pretty good, man. I'm glad to see you, Miss Graham. I got my coffee. I understand what you mean, but I'm always loud. I'm ready.
Oh, I'm always loud.
Welcome to WTP Sports Dudes Sunday morning, and it's good to see you. And I see you representing your Duke team, but it's good to see all the screens popping. Everybody got their coffee this morning. I see you over there, Doug. So it's just going to be a great show. Glad to have you. Appreciate you having me on this morning as well.
We also got our man, One Take Zaya, in the building with us this morning. How you feeling, One Take?
Hey, it's no mistakes, no retakes. That's all it takes. It's One Take Zaya, baby. What's up with the crew, man?
Feeling pretty good.
What's up?
We also got our man Doug in the building with us. How you feeling, Doug?
Man, feeling good. Been a while. I've been watching you guys, of course, man. But I appreciate you guys letting me on. Just kind of the Sunday. I'm actually off, so just want to say hello, man.
And last but definitely not least, our man SEC Sean. We brought him on last because he might have a story for us because he always got something popping for story time. How you feeling, SEC Sean?
Oh man, we're good. Had a good week of racing last night, or this whole week actually, but last night was another good race. Got some other one breaking up. I'll throw that out after I do. We definitely got story time. It's Sunday, so we got to start off the show with story time. So we'll jump into that real quick. It's really glad to see everybody. First time I've been live with Melissa on the same time. Welcome. Good to see you. I've seen a few of your stuff, a few of your things on there. So, but we had this old couple. They were married forever, man, but they got up in their 70, 75 years old. And the wife said, man, look, we got to start eating better. So she started doing all these bran muffins and salads and all this healthy food and stuff. And it was okay. And then they decided for their anniversary, when they turned 85, they were going to take a trip, and they called a plane. And man, the plane crashed. And they were gone, and they went up to heaven. When they got up there, they were looking around, and it was all these fancy cars for them, this $10 million big, huge mansion, every kind of food you could. And the guy, of course, being the guy, was just like, wait, whoa, we can't afford all this stuff, man. And St. Peter said, man, this is heaven. Everything is free. You can eat what you want. You can drink what you want. He said, there's a championship golf course right here. He said, how much are the green fees? He said, it's all free, brother. This is heaven. He turned around and he said, dang it, Mary, if you and your damn bran muffins, we could have been here 10 years ago.
Oh, man.
That's a good one.
That is too funny.
Real quick, before you get in, I'll throw my breaking we'll get this out of the way first. We'll get the NASCAR chat out of the way real quick before we jump in. They have, anybody that's interested, they have changed the start time for the Daytona 500. They've moved it up an hour due to potential rain in Florida today. So it'll be kicking off. Coverage begins at 11:30, and then the race starts at 2. I don't know why we need a 2-hour pre-race show for a race, but we do. So the real festivities start about 1:30. Race will start at 2:13. should be over about 6:30, right before the rain hits down in Florida. But it's a smart move. A lot of times NASCAR will wait and see what happens, and they've had to push this race back to Monday before, but it's the biggest race of the NASCAR season, so you really don't want any interruptions with it. It'll kick off early. That was a little breaking news I had there for that. Other than that, we jump into whatever y'all want. I know Doug did some stuff about softball too, going on in big tournament down in Florida, right?
Clearwater Invitational, yeah. They're kicking that off at 10 o'clock y'all's time. So ESPN2. LSU, UCLA, and Tennessee, and Florida State. That's right. It's going to be a good one. You want to see some fast-paced skill out there, man? It's fun to watch. If you learn about the sport and the dynamics of it and the science behind it, it'll blow you away.
I do know Miss Graham's Duke Blue Devils beat my Aggies the other day down there.
Oh, did they? Oh, yeah. Well, yeah. Well, I'll tell you what, man, Duke, they're all about their academics. I can promise you that. I can tell you stories about girls down here that have been recruited by Duke. They don't, when it comes to academics, man, that's number one first. I can tell you that. They got the student athletes at Duke, 100%. So.
Well, that's good to hear. That's good to hear. And if you've never been to Clearwater, Florida, you need to go. That's an amazing place to go if you want a vacation, that's for sure. Let's get into some of this talk right now, man. President Trump has pardoned or plans to pardon several former NFL players for supposed fraud and drug charges. What are your thoughts on President Trump coming in doing something like that? I don't know if there's been any other president who has done this for athletes or former athletes. What's your thoughts on his actions of pardoning those players?
Well, I mean, I think as long as it's not like some heinous crime where the dude was out there killing a bunch of people or something, or, something real bad. I don't know what would be worse than that, but I mean, I don't really know that I have a take on that. It's just kind of, okay. I mean, whatever, I guess. So that's just kind of where I am on it. I just don't, to be honest, I just don't really pay attention. Didn't even know it was happening, to be honest with you, till you mentioned it just a few minutes ago.
Yeah, it's like I don't really deal with politics, but it's like some way, some form or shape of politics talk is going to come up in this. But for me, you're the president. It's more things to worry about than what you're doing. I'm going to just say that, and I'm going to leave it at that, because that's a whole...
Athletes, there's a few more important things going on in this world right now than pardoning athletes for fraud and drug charges.
Yes. I think he has fans in sports too. I noticed he's been at almost every major sporting event. When you talk about sports, he's there. I don't know, man. He's we talked about it earlier. He's been trying to find his way into the college playoff talks. If he's not already in there, he wants his hands on any and everything. This is another way of him starting the show. Is he going to step into the sports world and try something? I don't know. Like you said, Ms. Graham, there's a lot more things I could be worried about.
Yeah, you don't want me. Our current president. Mama always taught me if I ain't got nothing nice to say, don't say nothing.
There we go. So I'm just keep quiet with you.
I'm kind of with you on that, but I don't really have a problem with him doing, pardoning these guys. I know there's a lot more things going on, but he can multitask, I guess. But I'm just curious though, the drug charges, I get that. What's the fraud? Is that like some Brett Favre stuff? I mean, did Brett Favre ever get charged for that, stealing welfare stuff from the fine people of Mississippi, where he's from? I mean,
Hinckley was involved in some insurance fraud.
Insurance fraud. Okay. Well,
he pled guilty to perjury after lying to a federal grand jury that was investigating insurance fraud. This is Klecko, a former star for the New York Jets. You pleaded guilty to perjury after lying. So I don't know if that's
No, man. And he was stealing money from people. So, and he pleaded guilty. He just needed to do his time. Man, what the hell? I don't understand that. Like the drug charges, like the whole Nate Newton thing. I mean, I'm okay with Nate. I think he was pushing pounds of weed or something, but if it's stuff like that, man, I guess that's okay, but I just don't see how it has to be news to everybody. But I don't know.
We're trying to deflect from literally time.
I think Cat Williams said it best, man. Trump wake up every day and he signs something. It's just something. It could be about a whole lot of nothing. It could be a whole serious thing. It don't matter. He's just gonna wake up and sign anything.
I seen that clip about what Cat Williams was saying, and he said he just wake up sign and shit. Then he get up the next morning like, what the hell did I sign? That's the situation that he gonna probably go back to. And I'm glad you mentioned that, Zay, because Cat Williams, people can say what they want, man, but he's a funny guy. Love his comedy, and he definitely opened my eyes to some things. I watched that whole video, and some of these things we know is social media, but I think if we look into it and see what they're saying in between the whole actual argument of what it is or what the topic is, we'd be surprised at some things that's being said. So that's what I got out of the Cat Williams. He put some knowledge out there a little bit.
Well, for me, man, I feel like there's a lot that goes on in the United States of America, and I want my president to be involved in all of it, or at least have some kind of knowledge of all of it. So if he goes and he starts pardoning people for things, I at least want him to know that this kind of stuff is possible, or it's out there, or somebody probably should be pardoned because they're doing some time for something that they might have got excessive time for. I don't know all the logistics to it, but I like for my president to have his hands involved in everything, or at least know everything that's going on inside the country. So I don't necessarily have an issue with it because he's not pardoning someone who has done some heinous crime, some killing of some folks, or some raping of any kind or anything like that. So I'm okay with it, regardless of how anybody might feel about the current president. I think whoever the president is, he should always be in tune with everything that's going on within our country.
Hey, Rob, I hear what you're saying, my boy, but you saying that until he start putting that pen to college football, making rules.
That's what I think.
Hey, listen. Somebody better do something because college football is looking like a hot ass mess right now.
About to say somebody better do something. I'll do something.
I think he will be the one to try to do something. Honestly,
maybe if he did do something and it was out of this world, they might say, "Hey, listen, we got to get this thing fixed quick, fast, in a hurry before this guy do something else."
Right.
He might push them to do something. Actually,
Doubtful. I don't think he knows too much about anything, to be honest. Let's just let's be good.
She don't hold nothing back.
nothing back.
He's already pardoned all those people we talked about, Brian.
Yeah, he already pardoned.
So I mean,
yeah,
it's just pure deflection from everything that's currently happening with a certain man that lives right down the road from me in New Albany here. So it's just a deflection.
Man.
Graham, you rubbing elbows with caviar eaters?
No.
She rubbing elbows with something with an L at the beginning of that name, I think.
Mm-hmm. And on a lot of buildings around a certain campus right down the road from us.
Yeah.
I'm not rubbing. Promise you that. I'm hunting him down. Here it is. Found him. Come get him.
Has anything stood out with any of you during All-Star Weekend this weekend? Has it even been something that you even tuned into?
didn't even know it was going on.
I saw some highlights of the dunk competition. Somebody almost got hurt, I think.
Yeah, somebody
But he was okay, though.
I know Con Knipp 27 points on his first rack in the 3-point contest, but that was also on during the full college slate yesterday, so I only saw that on Twitter.
Yeah, there was a lot going on yesterday.
I saw Lillard. I saw Dame won the 3-point contest. That only reason was because it popped up on my ESPN feed. I really, to be honest, did not even know this was All-Star Weekend for the NBA. That's how out of tune I am with All-Star events.
Yeah, I think the fact that All-Star Weekend is decreasing, and just to me, like we all talking about, we didn't, like you said, you didn't know it was on. College basketball seemed to be taking over. I actually stood out for me was Reed Shepherd, Dylan Harper, VJ Edgecombe, and a young Dunker Bryant for San Antonio. I had to actually rewatch the slam dunk contest a couple times myself to really see if anything could change. They need to add more players. Some of this great young talent that we have that actually can dunk the ball at a high level. I think some of them guys need to just step in and get into it, like we had Dominique Wilkins, George, Bud Webb, Vince Carter, Tracy McGrady. Those type of dunk contests need to come back. And, for Reed Shepherd, I think he really put the NBA on notice. That kid is special and he could go. And I think Houston, if they can get him going the second half, I think that was just the start of it. I think they could be a team to beat down this stretch as this NBA season go. And I like Dylan Harper and what he brings to the game. Going at it with your brother in that type of Rising Stars competition, to hit a bucket over him to win with your team in that moment, and watching his dad on the sideline, it gave me chills, thinking of me and my brother and the possibilities, thinking me and my brother. So, just seeing all the young talent, I was definitely pleased with where the game will be. I'm going to say 10 years from now. I'm not going to say quick 2 or 3, but I'm going to say 10 years from now, I do like where the game could be with this young core.
My favorite part of All-Star Weekend is when all the boys come back to their college and watch games. We had Coop, Kaman, and Ty Reese sitting courtside yesterday for our game against Clemson, and it was just so good to see him back in Cameron.
Oh, yeah. Definitely, man. Definitely a good thing.
Yeah, I think the only thing that was worth something was that Rising Stars Challenge, because that's the only thing that was really competitive for me.
It was very competitive. I liked it. The young talent, I think I watched that, and I rewatched a little bit of it. And we really got some good young talent in the NBA. If you go rewatch that Rising Stars game, I think we're going to be in good hands with the way these young guys is moving, and I think they're going to bring back that clash where you got to go at it, a few times in the playoffs, even in an All-Star game. So definitely like it.
I'm mad I missed Drewski out there, man. I've been seeing some clips of Drewski. It looked like Drewski probably made it a little funny though,
Yeah, he definitely did, man. I like the kid, man. He's just what, I guess the media needs in this time of what we've been dealing with. It's always something that you can laugh about when you see Drewski. He's definitely a grinder, and I watch a lot of those guys and learn a lot from them. Their stories, and just different things that they went through to get to where they at. So I definitely applaud what he do and what he's brought to just the world with his funniness and things like that as well.
What's your thoughts on today's action today in the NBA with the U.S. versus the world All-Star game format? Do you like that format that they're going to have laid out, or do you want them to go back to how the All-Star game used to be played?
I think you need to, the format is what the format is. I mean, they're trying anything to make it where people will watch and tune in. So they're trying all kinds of, there's not a better word, but gimmicks to try to get likes and clicks and views and everything. I I've mentioned it before. I'd prefer him go to. I'd rather see an all-star team out of each division. The 4 different divisions, create an all-star team out of the divisions and play head-to-head that way. I think that would at least invoke some competition to it versus this, 212 to 210 scoring games we have, which just isn't basketball. That's just shooting at the rec center, playing around. That's all that is.
Well, what my question is, what made the All-Star game so freaking awesome back in the early 90s, man? When that was like when everybody looked forward to All-Star weekend. We can go back to whatever they did. Well, yeah, I know the game was different. They definitely played a lot harder for sure. But what exactly was it? Because I can remember in high school, man, that was like, college basketball was always popular. But when the All-Star weekend came around, man, everybody was talking about dunk contest, 3-point, and the game itself. They couldn't wait to see all these teams, from the other conference. These players you hear about, from I used to be in the, down there in Houston, we're Western Conference. You hear about these guys, these cats from the Eastern Conference, and that's when you finally got to really see them and stuff. So what did they do in the 90s that was so awesome that they can't do now, that nobody's watching?
My take on that real quick, Doug, is you had rivals back then. Like
players, rivals, right? They weren't trading jerseys after the game. I can promise you that.
He didn't want to lose to Barkley or Olajuwon.
That's right.
And have to hear about it for the rest of the dang year. They didn't want to. Now there's no real loyalty because these guys are jumping teams every year or whenever. The rosters are turned. It's just like the transfer portal. There's players going from. Back in those days, you never would have seen Larry Bird go to the Lakers. You wouldn't have seen it. Now, I mean, you got guys jumping all over the place to go join up. So,
and everybody's buddies, everybody's friends.
That's it. And I'm not going to say, Jordan and Barkley were friends and they played golf a lot.
They were respectful, but they were competitive.
Well, off the court, fine. But when it came to lace it up, man, no, I want to beat you and I want to beat you bad. Malone, Stockton, Jordan, Bird. I mean, there was rivals back then, and I just don't see them anymore.
Yeah.
As somebody who doesn't really do professional sports, I say college, they're these nice, but I could, back in the early 90s, player series.
Hey, MG, you breaking up.
I don't know why.
Try again.
Literally.
Yeah, there's something crazy with that connection.
Yeah, you got some glitch over there somewhere.
You want me to leave and come back in?
Maybe try to, I was going to say maybe back out and come back
Well,
in.
come back in.
I think
Let's just admit it, man. LeBron messed up the All-Star game, I mean, it is what it is. I know Rob don't want to hear that, but it is what it is. He wants everybody to like him. And, Kobe was trying to pass that torch with him. And he got mad when LeBron didn't take that last second shot in that All-Star game when they were going heads up. And that was the key moment that switched the All-Star game over. Like, all before then, guys were going at each other, and that's just that's how I feel. Hey, listen, Kobe's first All-Star game that he started in 2000, I want to say, or no, it was not 2000. He didn't even start. I want to say it was 98. Him and Jordan was going at it the whole game. You know what I mean? Kobe was out there a young buck, but it was the fact that he this the best dude in the league. I know everybody watching. I'm going at this dude. We don't have that type of torch passing nowadays, and we know Jordan and Kobe, they wasn't like rival enemies, but we could call them rivals, we could call them rivals. Kobe rivaled everything about anybody he felt like was better than him at that point. So Man, just dudes don't want to compete, man. And really, I don't even blame just LeBron. I blame the European players too. And I blame Steph Curry.
Amen.
Steph Curry is part of the reason why the All-Star game is like this too. Because you shoot from 40 feet, and now you making everybody else think they can do it.
Hmm. I think they changed the game for the Europeans, but whatever.
I think for me, USA versus the world format. It's not the best. I like the old school way, East versus West. Like
Yeah.
you said, I'm actually sitting here watching the 2003, one of the greatest All-Star games ever, and you had me thinking about when KG threw that lob to Kobe in that All-Star games. The fadeaways. It's so much happened in that game, and then you think about watching when LeBron passed away. Everybody think about that, but we can't forget LeBron has never been the one to want to take that type of shot. I get it, but I wish we could get back to that dog. Like you said, SEC Sean, they didn't want to lose to Olajuwon Barkley. This is bragging rights. You go throughout the year with these bragging rights. I want to see the All-Star game get back to it. I quite frankly don't care about All-Star weekend anymore. I'm gonna just be honest because it's not what you want to watch. It's not worth that watch. I'm not getting what I got when I watched Mike, Kobe, Tracy McGrady, Kevin Garnett. I mean, I'm 86 Ralph Sampson and Olajuwon battle with Moses Malone and Dr. J and all them guys. Like, it's so many games we could go back and watch and like, wow, this is an All-Star game. They're playing like an actual season game. And now it's just like they're out there playing with Legos. So I honestly don't like the NBA All-Star weekend. It sucks. It's trash. They got to do something about it ASAP. And hopefully they hear it because I'm quite frankly tired of it. I want to see something that's worth the watch. Might as well put it on something that you got to pay for and see if it get the numbers because I don't think it's getting any kind of numbers to be worth watching.
Yeah, I feel like the players nowadays, man, to them it's just we just going out there entertaining, and lost the fact that it was the competition that made it entertaining.
Yeah.
Seeing guys from other conferences going head to head, wanting to win this game, wanting to have bragging rights, wanting to win the MVP, especially if it was in their hometown, and that player made the All-Star team. It just seemed like these players nowadays, man, it's all about, let's just go out here and make it entertaining, not have the competitive aspect of it even in the picture, when the reality is it was the competitiveness that made it entertaining for those of us who watched it back in the 80s and 90s and early 2000s. I wish that they could figure out the thing altogether, man, because what they've been doing lately has not been entertaining. Our next question is in lines of trying to change up this slam dunk contest, and I would like to get y'all's thoughts on that. Unless anybody got anything else to add about that All-Star format, USA versus the world. I think it was One Take Zed that mentioned this before. Would you like to see the NBA have slam dunk contests around the world and bring in 8 slam dunkers from those contests to compete during All-Star weekend? Because I think we've seen on YouTube and in some other formats, other platforms, social platforms, where these guys are slam dunking like crazy, man, and they doing some things that we don't see NBA players doing. Would that be a little bit more exciting for them to go to this kind of a format?
As somebody who, again, doesn't really watch the NBA, but knows that the winning dunk last night was a running windmill, like, really?
That you've seen a million times.
Right. Like, I'm supposed to be impressed by somebody traveling 700 feet to the basket, windmilling, like, go away, like, find somebody else. And that, again, I have no dog in this fight because I don't do NBA or NFL, but that was what was impressive enough to win an NBA dunk contest. Like, come on now.
Yeah.
The the dunk contest, they did bring this up. You are correct, Robert. That was a phenomenal take he had when we talked about this before. It was a great idea. I don't know. I mean, Melissa said it right. I mean, we've seen this. I mean, the best dunk contest in my memory, I believe it was the 87 contest with Jordan and Dominique going at it. That was one of the best I'd ever seen. And it just seems now, I mean, we're stale. I mean, it's just, you're doing windmills and reverse 360s and throwing it off the backboard. Okay, we've seen all this. You got guys trying to jump over people in cars. And I mean, what are we doing? When is there going to be a car on a basketball court? So I agree with the Zay's take, doing it all over the world, bring in the best 8. They can even do a dunk contest before the actual dunk contest and put the winner or the 2 winners of that the first and second place against the NBA players.
Yeah, I agree. That was a great thought one take. I watch a lot of different dunk contests throughout the year. Shaq just had one. Some of those dunkers dunk way better. And this dunk that won it, Zach LaVine was walking on air when he did his from the free throw line. So that dunk I seen last night, trash. I'm gonna just be all the way honest because it's been seen before. No disrespect to these athletes that's getting out and working on their craft. You make All-Star Weekend this dunk contest. Just think about, like you said, SEC Sean. MJ and Dominique paved the way for us to look at this in 2026. That's bullshit. Sorry about my language, but it's not worth looking, man. Like I feel a certain way about basketball, and I'm gonna speak my honest truth when it comes to it. This dunk contest is trash, man. Like it's not worth the watch. And I'm talking about since Zach LaVine and Aaron Gordon had it off. That's probably the last dunk contest that I watched, and I did watch your boy, get him a couple back-to-back. Matt McClung. Why couldn't they get him in this dunk contest?
Right.
I'm just saying.
Wasn't he the defending champion from last year?
2-time, I believe, defending championship.
Oh yeah, you gotta always bring back the champion.
Bring
even if he's not back. Even in the league, you gotta bring him back.
I was even thinking of LaVine, McClung, Gordon, some of these guys that's been in that dunk contest that's won. What does it take to get this dunk contest back? Because right now you could create an event in place of the dunk contest and it probably do better numbers. Just saying.
You need another Spud Webb to come through.
Yeah.
Because when he was dunking with Jordan and Dominique and even old Kenny Smith was doing his thing back in the day, man. I mean, there was some good stuff back in those days, but I don't think we have another guy.
Spud Webb didn't do anything crazy. He wasn't doing.
I know, but he was just
glitch late yesterday.
I know, but he was like 5 nothing.
But that's what I'm saying. He was 5 nothing, and he was still out there dunking. So it was fun to watch, seeing somebody that small do that.
Guy on Shaq's. It's a guy that's like Spud Webb's height, maybe like 2 inches taller on Shaq's. That Shaq just had a dunk contest show, and he lit the crowd. Like he could really get out the gym. Not Spud Webb is himself, but he make you think about that with his height and him being short. So I think they should do it. I don't see why not. They definitely have put on a show for us, and it'll be worth that watch for sure.
Anything you got to add to that one take? All right, he might not be ready to roll. Let's talk a little bit about yesterday's basketball action. Number 1, Arizona. I should say loses 2 in a row, but I must have been typing too fast. Let me see. Can they fall out of possibly being the number 1 seed in the NCAA tournament? And what's your thoughts on them losing at home to Texas Tech yesterday?
I don't think they're going to fall out of a number one seed line, be the overall seed going forward. Play. that was a hell of a game for the whole game. Tech was actually down 6-7. And that last 4 to 8 minutes was back and forth physical basketball. It was fun to watch. Unfortunately, losing 2 in a row at this point of the year kind of is going to be remembered, especially looking at, coming in. I don't think they're going to blow the 3 or 4 spot in the AP poll or coaches poll, but they're still sitting on a number 1 seed line for sure come March. And they did it without Noah Pete, or Koa Pete didn't play in the second half for Arizona. And Toppin struggled a little bit there in the middle of the game as well, but Tech pulled it out. It was impressive.
I don't see Arizona falling off the 1 seed in the tournament, one of the 4 1 seeds. Now, I will say that they got a schedule coming up. I mean, they got BYU Wednesday, then they go to Houston, and then Baylor, and then Kansas comes to Arizona, and then they got Iowa State after that. They got a pretty rough stretch. They could drop a couple more games in this stretch, but they're still a 1 seed. I mean, you look, all those teams are ranked in the top 12. So Arizona is still, in my mind, the favorite. Do they fall? Michigan probably jumps to number 1. Arizona might even just fall to number 2 and be right in front of Houston and then Duke right there. Those are probably your top 4 1 seeds.
Hey, we just did this on stream yesterday morning. That was my number 1 overall seed. But when you get new results, information change.
Yeah.
They might be the number 1, 2 seed. It's looking like now because you got, like you said, their schedule was back heavy. Sean, you already had ran it down last week. They got a whole monster schedule ahead of them. So if they drop 1 or 2 more games, I mean, one of these Big Ten teams might sneak up into that 1 line like Illinois or something. So I don't know. And listen, especially if they got an early exit in their conference tournament, there's definitely a chance they could fall off that 1 seed.
I agree. I think this Arizona team, I know, like you said, Zay, we talked yesterday. We felt Arizona still with that loss would be the number 1 overall. But this Texas Tech team was the team that we all had a say about, being under the radar. I think we've seen this Texas Tech team, the reason why we have them under the radar. Topping 10 plus 21 straight games, 31-13, along with the full stat line. We know what his brothers is doing in the NBA, but I think he's the one that's going to be a special talent that stays for some years. I think Arizona, like you said, Zay, the number 1, number 2 seed. You got Michigan, you got Duke that's right there gaining. You got UConn and this Iowa State team. Let's not forget a few years when everybody thought that they could get that number 1 seed. They remind me of what Iowa State went through that latter part and going into that tournament. They slipped up. They came from out of that 1 seed. They was a 2 seed, a top 2 seed. So I think this Iowa State team is the team to watch in this Big 12. I think they're going to actually replace Arizona with the 1 seed. Arizona with this back 9 schedule, I don't think they could get it like Tiger in that Masters. I think they struggle, and I think that Iowa State becomes the 1 seed that no one talked about all season, and they kind of can get some things rolling in this tournament. I don't know. This Iowa State team, I think, is dangerous. Arizona people might be seeing something that's not good. I know Koa Pete was hurt, but I don't know. That's 2 straight losses is tough.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
I said I'm kind of with you on that on Iowa State, man. That's a good point, Moss, because I mean they got U of H on Monday, I believe.
Yeah.
And man, so they can make some serious noise right here, man. So that back end of that schedule, you're right, man, because Iowa State looks really good right now. So as far as Arizona, I honestly thought they were going to roll Texas Tech yesterday after their game in Lawrence because they look really good in Lawrence to me.
Yeah.
I mean, they look like everybody on that floor can score the ball, but they just look. I don't know if they looked flat or Texas Tech they just traveled, man. They came. I mean, Texas Tech, they probably should have beat U of H twice this year.
Yeah.
I mean, so man, that whole conference is just ridiculous, man. So if Iowa State doesn't sneak in there, I think it'll be another Big Ten team. But man, it's going to be interesting, man. But I think Arizona, I got them maybe like the number 1 seed, or like you said, the number 1, number 2 seed right now. So, but
I think too, Texas Tech has the best 3 wins in the country right now. They beat Duke in the Gardens,
I did.
beat
That's
Houston,
true.
and then beating Arizona at Arizona. Like, they are eerily closely creeping to that 1 seed if they really want to, or that top number 1 seed. Iowa State just demolished Kansas yesterday, which after Kansas beating Arizona, I was not expecting that at all.
Yeah.
But I mean, Bill Self is going to Bill Self. So
yeah, that's a good point. They lose to Kansas. I mean, Arizona. Kansas beats Arizona without Peterson, plays Iowa State, and gets destroyed with Peterson.
But
so
Iowa State is dangerous, man. Like they are a team, and I like this Iowa State team better than the team that they had at that top few years ago when they was trying to make that run with I think Niang. This Iowa State team is really that good. Like they can actually get to the Final Four, if not the championship. Like this Iowa State team is that good. I watched them. They play basketball. They bench players come in. They know what their job is. They box out. They rebound. They physical. So
they were really fun to watch that first 4 minutes after halftime yesterday.
yeah.
Milosevic, nope, that's not his name. It's something like that. But came out, and he just needs a breath, and he's drilling. I mean, he drilled 3 threes in a row.
The shooter.
Just coming around the corner, catch and shoot, and Kansas couldn't do anything to stop it. And when they tried to double him or, go above or trap him, they left the other kid open at the top of the key, shooting straight on for 3, and he hit like 2 in the row. And then their defense yesterday was absolutely suffocating. Kansas couldn't do anything, which I don't know if we can talk about Darren Peterson or not, but I was curious as to everybody's kind of thoughts on that situation. In my opinion, Kansas plays better without him, and I kind of wonder if they're tired of this Darren Peterson show of I'm going to play, I'm not going to play, or I'm hurt. Flu-like symptoms. Everybody's like, Jordan played with 107 degree temperature and the best game of his life, and Darren Peterson is almost doing some load management against some big teams that he wants to win Player of the Year, and you're not playing against teams. Like you're not playing in games. How's that going to happen?
Yeah, I agree. Wow.
Yeah, I think Peterson's obviously super talented. I'm curious about the character there. What is going on in the headspace? I don't know. I mean, you're going to be a top pick in the NBA draft. We all kind of agree with that, I think. But this just isn't a good look to me. But like I've said about the Big 12, that to me is the deepest and the best. Oh, I don't know about deepest, but it's the best conference in college basketball to me. When you look at Houston, Tech, Arizona, Iowa State, Kansas, when Kansas is Kansas, BYU's in there with Moss's boy.
Hey, Jay.
So to me, I mean, I'm not going to be shocked at the end of the season if the Big 12's got 2 teams in the Final Four.
Oh, no, absolutely.
I mean, better be careful if you get all of them in different regions. You might have a Big 12 Final Four.
Yeah.
That would be dope.
It'll be interesting for sure because that conference is just beating up on each other.
The Big Ten got something to say.
Well, so is the SEC. mean, Florida looks really good right now.
Yeah, Florida's really good. Texas is starting to play a little bit better. They won last night on the road. Missouri. Okay, well, you know what? We thought A&M was looking good earlier this year. Now
they're garbage.
Looking like okay.
They're toilet water.
Yeah.
Dumpster
I might take toilet water over the way A&M's playing right now.
They just going to.
Hey, the most impressive team I seen yesterday was in the Big Ten. That was Michigan.
Man, listen.
Michigan rolling, man.
Michigan's good. Nobody's doubting that at all.
Yeah, I watched them yesterday, man. They a tough out, I think, for anybody. And we spoke on Lindenborg yesterday. I don't know, like this Michigan team is dangerous. I came across a fan yesterday. He wanted my thoughts on Ohio State. I honestly told him, if Ohio State can make shots until he plays big, I think Ohio State could actually win a couple games in the tournament. That's just my honest opinion. You know, they got to get there. But
hey, Moss, Lindenborg, he was balling, but they had no answer for Mara. The game was over in the first half. That's why if you look at the box score, you wouldn't be able to tell what happened for real. But Mara was killing them, bro.
You know that's where he was transferred from too. So you know it was a little get back. You know, him stepping up and letting them know, like, listen, this is why my production should have been higher last year. You know, he comfortable where he at, and I think I'm glad you mentioned that because I've been watching him, Zay. I haven't seen Michigan with a true low post present who they could give the ball to like that since in some years. Like, I know they've had McGarry and guys like that, but I'm talking really give the ball to in the post and they move the offense and let him go to work. That boy is special. And what Michigan got in Mar, and they're a team as well, man. They can actually win it. It's quite a few teams that we see can win it. But this Michigan team, we can't not sleep on them because they've been knocking heads off lately. Double-digit wins consistently. So they scary.
Big game next weekend.
What about Arkansas? What y'all think about Arkansas? The SEC.
Guard play tends to do well in the tournament. So I mean, it's just about playing your best basketball at the right time. You know, they got a good backcourt. So you know, you get the right backcourt that get hot at the right time, man. They carry you to a Final Four. You be like, you look up, be like, man, these dudes ain't look like this all year.
Yeah. And a freshman, I can't remember his name for some reason. I don't know why.
Cuff. That boy a monster.
Man, he's the thing I like about him, watching him throughout the season, he's starting to find players that make his team better. And I noticed at a point in the game yesterday, he was finding his teammates and they was making a run and he took one over and busted a 3-ball. And it just took off from there. So I definitely think they could be a team like the guard play, man. You know, you got to have good guard play in the tournament. And when you making your team and teammates better, other players coming around to you seeing a better game out of them as the season go on, I think you can stamp a team that's doing those things as a team to watch and a team that can win in any tournament game. So that's
sorry, Moss, I thought you were done.
No, you're good.
As somebody who watches a lot of SEC basketball, Arkansas is really, really good, but they're so inconsistent.
Yeah.
Arkansas can come out and beat you by 40, but they could lose to you by 40 just as fast. I don't know what to make of them yet. They're super talented, and Acuff is just a monster. I've been talking about that kid for a few weeks now. He's something else. But to me,
how long has Calipari been there now?
2 years.
2 years, yeah.
Okay.
You know, so to me right now, the SEC runs through Florida, though. Florida's front line is so nasty.
Man, it's long, but they just so long. And then the Xavier Lee dude.
Yeah. If he's on
balling.
Yeah, if he's on with that front line, you can roll 4 7-footers in.
Yeah.
They are
bullies too, man.
Oh,
really.
And they can stretch the floor too, though. Like, you know, they got a couple of them that can stretch the floor.
Yeah, Condon, what is it, Thomas Howe or Hawk or whatever his name is. I don't know how to pronounce it.
No, you
They
should
can
have.
step out and knock them down. But to me, Florida's going to go as far as their guards will take them.
Yeah.
And if
Yeah,
Lee's
I mean,
playing
they
like
got Boogie too. They got Boogie too.
Boogie
Boogie
playing,
nice.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. If they're both on, because at the beginning of the year, those two guards weren't really doing a whole lot, and that's when Florida kind of struggled. But they've kind of put it together here lately, and they look really, really scary. Todd Golden even mentioned, he says that this team's ceiling isn't quite as high, but their floor's higher than last year's championship team.
Yeah.
And that's just a scary thought. If that team gets hot, I think they're my favorite out of the SEC. Alabama just has to outscore everybody. And then, of course, my Aggies looked good for a while. They've lost 4 in a row. But again, I'm not holding any grudges against them. I mean, Bucky McMillan threw that roster together. I mean, at a 5 and dime store, he was just buying whoever was left in the portal. So I'm cool with what we've done. I'm pretty sure if we can win a few more games, we'll be in the tournament. Can we win a game? Yeah. Can we make a deep run? I doubt it. But, I'm cool with what we got.
Yeah.
If they keep losing games, we're going to have to flip over to baseball season, though.
Yeah, now y'all on the boat with us. I'm sorry, MG. Y'all on the boat with us, bro. Y'all not making the tournament, bro.
She was about to get him.
All it's going to take is a few more wins. We still got Arkansas coming up. We got Texas, Oklahoma. Play Ole Miss this week. Win a couple games in the SEC tournament. You can probably sneak into even the first 4 over in Dayton, which is fine. I may have to try to make that drive if that happens.
I think you guys drilled it with the whole inconsistency piece of the SEC. We talked about the Big 12 is probably the deepest and best conference right now. They're just beating up on each other. The SEC has so much freaking potential, but they're so inconsistent. I mean, Cal is not getting his early Kentucky teams, or you're getting all these NBA first round draft picks, one and dones. Like you've got to create some players and build off of that too. And I think fans, SEC fans in general, are just expecting that it's Cal, come on in and do what you did at Kentucky. They are one day they're ready to build Mark Pope a statue in Lexington. The next day they're ready to hang him. And then Florida has been so inconsistent too. And Bama, like you said, they don't play defense. They have to outscore everybody. And that's just a Nate Oates team in general. They did that at Buffalo. If you're gonna win games, you're gonna make 47 3-point shots a game to do it. And unfortunately, in the SEC, you got to play a little bit of defense too. And so the SEC to me is the most inconsistent conference as far as one game. Kentucky looks like they could be a Final Four team. The next game, they look like they shouldn't even be in the tournament. And same with, Arkansas and Bama and even Florida, like you said at the beginning of the year. I mean, we were expecting when we played them at the beginning of the year in the ACC SEC Challenge. I mean, it was a hell of a game, but it's not the talent. It's not what we were expecting, even if it's early in the season. People are like, oh, we played them in November or whatever. It doesn't matter. When you're playing the defending national champs, you expect to be playing the defending national champs, and they still hadn't just melded. And they had a decent amount of guys back. And so, the SEC to me is just so inconsistent. And I mean, my TV is on ESPN from October to, well, not even October, from August until March. And so it's one of those things that I'm watching SEC, I'm watching Big 10, I'm watching Big 12. I'm watching my ACC, which is, we're not getting the credit this year, but we are a much improved conference in the ACC this year. Jay Lucas just beat NC State by making 8 free throws in a row. NC State had no business giving that game away, but they did. And Coach Lucas's guys walked up to the line and drilled free throws. I don't know what that's like because we can't make free throws to save our life. But I'm like, that must be nice to sink a free throw to seal the game. Who knew? But this tournament's going to be one of the better ones we've had in a while. Like there's no clear cut number one going to take it and run the table with it. I think that's exciting for college basketball in a whole, but let alone March, especially coming off, earlier you guys were talking about the NBA. I could care less. I want to watch it. I want to watch a game. I want to watch offense and defense. And that's what you get in college basketball. For now, I don't know what the future holds because it is a changing climate as well. You've got Dan Peterson at Kansas doing load management as a freshman. So it's going to be interesting, but I think college basketball this year has been really, really fun to watch.
What's your thoughts, WTP, on all these great things, starting with that Arizona? What's your thoughts on Arizona and where you see them? How you feel about them?
Well, I feel like that Big 12, man, they're coming down this back stretch. They could have possibly got two teams on the number one line in the NCAA tournament, but I think what we're going to see here is they're going to be beating up on each other. They're probably only going to get one team on that number one line, but they're going to. The blessing, though, is they're going to get some guys that are really, really good on line 2 and line 3. That's going to make a hell of a run. That could possibly, like SEC Sean said, have freaking 3 or 4 Big 12 teams in the freaking Final Four, man. I don't really think no lower level school is going to get any upsets in this tournament. I think Arizona, if they can win their next couple of big games, they could be the one that gets that number one seed out of the Big 12. But they got to worry about Houston. They got to worry about Texas Tech. They got to worry about Iowa State. Those 4 teams right there could all possibly get one of those number one seeds. But then you got to worry about Michigan getting one, which I think they will. UConn, with all of this battling in the Big 12, is probably going to get one because of the battling they're going to do. And then you got who's that other team? It's Duke. That's right there. So
who's
that's
that other team?
You said what?
Who's that other team?
Oh, she ain't like that.
I had to think a little bit there, Melissa. Don't beat me up on Wednesday.
I got you.
You see, she representing them Duke Blue Devils. We appreciate you as well. She said that team.
Well, I think that's going to be very interesting down the stretch to see how those Big 12 games play out. And if they beat up on each other like we expect them to, it's probably going to hurt them as far as getting on the number one seed line. But it's going to be a blessing that some of them can fall to 2 and 3 and have maybe some lesser competition possibly.
And you brought up UConn, which I think a lot of people, I've only seen them play once or twice because they're the conference they're in. They should be steamrolling everybody. But it'll be interesting to see what they can do against a Big 12 team or against an SEC team. Danny Hurley is insane, literally insane. And I can't hardly stand to watch him coach. But at the same point in time, he's got UConn rolling again. And we're not even talking about UConn. Like, we're talking about Iowa State and Houston and Alabama or Arkansas and Florida. You know what I mean? Like, they're the number 2 team in the country right now, number 3 team. And people aren't even talking about them because they're in a conference that is lesser than, those top 3 conferences we've got going right now with the SEC, Big 12, and Big 10. And so it'll be interesting to see what they can do in a tournament when they have to play somebody outside their conference.
I think the game, I know we haven't really talked about UConn much. I've been waiting for the matchup that they got coming up in a few weeks against St. John's. They'll be going at it for, position to win that conference. And I think that's when we'll see the best and what we'll know moving forward, even, tournament play. Because I think if UConn wins that against St. John's, I think that pushes UConn to win their conference, even win their conference championship in that tournament. I feel that good about UConn. But I agree. And have they played some of those upper echelon teams with the way they've played in their conference? Is that going to be something that, kind of haunts them when they get into that tournament? Certain teams have played against top teams throughout the season, but we can't forget UConn done back-to-back. They still on the map. This is UConn basketball, so we can't negate what they're doing. And I think they actually like what they're doing. and not being talked about because guess what? They wasn't talked about when they won back-to-back championships.
Exactly.
So this is part of UConn's plan. This is what they've done when they've been successful. Back when they had Rip Hamilton, even times of Ray Allen, we know how this UConn team can roll. So I think the world should definitely be on notice with what they're doing, and as well as St. John's. UConn 14-1, St. John's 13-1. Two
Hey,
teams, again can make a run in the tournament.
hey, listen. I said UConn is the number 1 seed. They got wins over Florida, Kansas, and Illinois. I mean, they lost to Arizona earlier in the year, but okay, you know what I mean? That's a good loss. But they're a number 1 seed for me right now.
Yeah, after that debacle yesterday, I would say UConn, Michigan, and Duke. I think that's how much that
Right. What?
I think that's how much that loss from Arizona affected them. I think Duke, Michigan, UConn, and Iowa State, and you could argue about Duke being number 1. You could argue about Michigan being number 1. I mean, each team has an argument about being number 1, but right now I think it's Michigan or Duke. They deserve that number 1 seed.
Well, it'll be determined next Saturday.
Is that Duke Michigan big game?
Yep, in DC.
Ooh, where they
play
playing
each
that one
other?
again?
Huh?
Duke and Michigan play each other?
Yeah, next Saturday, 6
Is
o'clock.
that like on that? Is that like a special? What's the name of that game? I forget.
No, we just Duke for years
All right.
always played a non-conference game in February for the long
Ooh.
with St. John.
Go ahead and mark that.
We always play a non-conference game in February at a neutral site to kind of just build up our schedule, get a little bit more practice. I mean, this year John Shire's scheduling, y'all saw our first 10 games was insane. And, I mean, unscathed, not unscathed. Texas Tech beat us, but I kind of feel like we let that one slip away a little bit. And I mean, we've seen Texas Tech come back at the end before, but the next weekend is Michigan and Duke in Washington, D.C. on, I want to say it's ESPN at 6:30. It's game day will be there, which I don't care because Jay Billis and Jay Williams can go do whatever the hell they want to do. They're not part of the brotherhood.
Yeah.
We'll figure out. It's going to be a hell of a game next week for sure.
Yeah, Ohio State played Virginia yesterday.
Yeah,
We lost by 4. We needed that win. We should have won that game for real.
I was at the man. Shout out to Yogi's, man. Great place, man. They got the screens and stuff. I was there watching yesterday, and I was talking to a Buckeye fan. I know they're approaching history with one of their great players that they have. I thought for a second that they seemed to be trying to focus on this record instead of focusing on the game at hand. I know they was playing without Mobley, and where you're not playing with the scorer and the shooter of the capabilities that he have, we know what he could do. I think that, makes your offense do some things that they're not used to. But they could have had that game was in their hand. They could have won, just missed some shots. And I'm trying to figure some things out. I was asking a couple guys, how do they feel about the coaching? It was kind of an up and down thing for me. He said that he really haven't seen. He said this was the best team that he's seen since back when I think 05, 06. What's your thoughts on that, Zay?
He said this was the best team, Ohio State team he's seen since 05, 06.
Yeah, and I had to think, and I'm like,
He smoking work. What is he talking about?
I was like, I know y'all had Evan.
Bro, we had Jared Sullinger, Aaron Craft, William Buford, Deshaun Thomas, all of them in 2011. Like, what is he talking about?
So I was kind of trying.
We had D'Angelo Russell after that too. Like them Shannon Scott teams was way better than this. This team is trash for real. If you want to be honest, this team is horrible.
Yeah, I was kind of awed by that, knowing what y'all have had over the years. So I'm like, man, like that's a big statement. And I just, left it at that. I just watched the game. I thought y'all could have pulled it out. I don't know. I just think they got to focus and stop trying to get Thornton this record, man. That's just my personal look on what I've seen because they play totally different when I seen them play UCLA compared to watching them play yesterday. Totally.
It ain't that. He just our best scorer, especially when Mobley not available.
I've tried to watch them, and it's hard for me because there's no offense.
Yeah.
Like they just don't have any offense, and I don't. It's hard to watch.
It ain't even that we ain't got offense. I feel like Diebler do not be letting them boys play, bro. You can't go out there and just be like, all right, run this. Nah, bro, just cut them loose sometimes. Just do a 4 out, 1 in, and do it, you know what I mean? Do a pass and cut offense. Just let them play, though, like you in open gym sometimes. You know, that's what the problem is for real. You playing, what they call it? I don't even know what the word I'm looking for, but he just like he want them to play like robots. I feel like at times that's what I feel when I'm watching. Like just let dudes go, bro.
Let them be loose and let them be great. I agree. I be trying to figure out what the offense is. Bruce Thornton's a great talent. I think when you can swing that ball and not try to focus on just him scoring, though, I think they have quite a few scores. And if you move that ball, I think they could definitely, make some plays. I like Bynum, the freshman that y'all got. He's a great talent, man. And when I seen him live, like that kid can go, that kid can play. And I think if they just continue to work that ball, I think, they could have won that game yesterday, but I still think they could get a game in the tournament. If they get in this tournament, I think they could win a game, if not two. I still feel that way about this Ohio State team.
We should have hired Cal.
Y'all had the bread.
So do y'all think Michigan's going to be number one when the new poll come out?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Michigan.
Without a doubt.
Yep.
I think next weekend could possibly be 1 versus 2. I think Duke could move up to the second spot.
I think based on the week, you're right. Is what that's perfect. 1 versus 2. They go through this week. You got the Big 12 games matched up, trying to figure out who's going to crunch in between that 1 and 2. Because once that 1 and 2 set is done, we could possibly be, getting closer to really figuring out some of these draws in this tournament. But, like I thinking about it earlier in the season, is Michigan number 1? Is Duke number 1? I think Duke became number 1 at that point. Then they took a loss, I think, to Texas Tech, and then Michigan elevated. So I think it's crazy because right now they're on the collision course for this Saturday. So I'm going to get a nod to Michigan and Duke right there at 2. I think is, now where are we at in our seasons, respectively? We both earned our position earlier in the season, and up until this point, we earned it still, but we got to bang it out, and let's see who is deserving of this number 1 seed. I think that's the type of showdown. I'm excited for it myself. Michigan and Duke basketball. Man, this made me think about so many greats on each side of the basketball, those teams as well.
I mean, I think Michigan is the most complete team in the right now. They're playing consistently both sides of the ball, and that Duke. I mean, yesterday a lot closer. We're throwing up prayers. We're missing free throws and we're missing layups. Like if that's not a winning.
Yeah.
At times where Duke is our own worst enemy, so we do that against Michigan because to me they're completely playing offensively and defensively. Nothing would make me happier than to take Elliot Cadeau down yet again. It's great about King, and I'm because they are going to in foul immediately, and we that as well.
Yeah, Michigan should move up to number 1. I think I've already mentioned that. I think Arizona slips to number 2. Duke.
Back-to-back losses, just to slip down one.
Yeah, I do.
It's crazy.
I still think, based on who they've played and their losses have been to both ranked teams. Both were, pretty close losses. I think the Kansas loss was like 4, and Texas Tech was 3. Those are 2 really good teams, so I think they're going to get the benefit. They could slip to 3, but if they go to 3, I think Houston goes to 2. Duke, the biggest thing I have with Duke, and I've said this before, is I just don't know if their defense is going to show up. And then the other game I saw against North Carolina, they had them down by 15, 16, and then North Carolina just stormed back in a quick second, was back in front.
Yeah.
So I like the Duke team, but the same thing I've mentioned with the SEC stuff. They're just inconsistent. And that's the theme of college basketball this year, is inconsistency. So I could see Michigan number 1. I could see Arizona 2 or 3. Top 4 is going to be Michigan, Arizona, Houston, and Duke in some form or order. Michigan number 1, and then the other 3 are kind of in an order right there.
Yeah. And I think it's, I talking about he wants to let him play. At the Duke pick, times that I want John Shire to call, I feel like we get to play freely too much, and that gets us out of some rhythm and out of smart. Like, I laugh because he's going to throw up a 3, and I appreciate that because a majority of them go in, but a few that go completely haywire, and then it kills the run, or we can't get inside to Cam, or we're just chucking up 3s. Like, there's time for John to step in and coach because we're so inconsistent on offense, and then it leads us to be inconsistent on defense because we've thrown up something that was prayer, and we're slow to get back on defense. And our defense is actually really, really good. We switch everything, but it's frustrating to watch them have so much talent, be so. My group and I are like, if we could put together a full game, like if we could have that first half of North Carolina, if we had the same second, it didn't. They came on. It is.
Still.
They with 20 seconds left. Gave that game away. We get them in a couple weeks on March 7th, but we're. Not an excuse because we've got 3 McDonald's All-Americans, and Cam Boozer, quite possibly the player of the year, the freshman of the year, and just so inconsistent. And I think people forget that sometimes it does go back on the coaches. And I would love for John to be able to step in and coach a little bit more and not be willy-nilly about, just get the ball and go, because it's worked in our favor, but it also has not worked in our favor. I would say times than not. We've been on big runs, and then
Hey, Millie Graham, I'm sorry, man. We really did not hear nothing you was saying. It was chopped up.
I don't know.
You got some really good tapes too.
She was saying
I was catching what she was saying too. She was talking that talk, but it's chopping.
No, I was about to, because what she was saying, I was in agreeing with her. And one of the things I noticed is when Sarr plays great, he's getting that defense on the defensive side of the ball. When Sarr plays well, Duke is unbeatable. And I think Sarr's the X factor for Duke's championship run this season. If Sarr plays well, I think when Sarr plays well, he's pushing Evans to be better. Because a lot of people don't pay attention as much as some, how we do. Sarr came in because of Evans' sluggish shooting. So Sarr is another player that could not just stretch the floor. He's lengthy, he's long. He loves playing defense. He loves just being out there, being himself. And I think when you have a player like that at the University of Duke, who we know when the camera carries, he's going crazy for you, you're his talent. And he's that special for Duke. When he's playing well, like I said, Duke is unbeatable. And I think that's the key to Duke's season success from this point on forward is Alex Sarr because he just have a different motor. He's loud. He had his big shot. He's jumping around. He's showing so much emotion, and you could tell he's loving just being out there on the floor with his guys. He was the same way when he was on the bench. So seeing it on the floor in motion amongst the crowd, big shots, can't ask for nothing special more than that. So I think, like I said, we're gonna be in for a great week with this college basketball, man. The kickoff, especially with Houston, Iowa State. You got BYU. Oh man, it's just a great week of college basketball. I'm looking forward to it.
Hey, Mark, I like that you be trying to keep the peace and man, Duke is beatable, man. Their best player is mid. Cam Boozer is the best mid player I've ever seen.
If you don't right now,
no, listen.
He's Tyler Hansbrough. He's Tyler Hansbrough.
Don't you ever?
But I don't know, man.
I'll be watching my back on Friday.
Shooting down, man. But no, I say that about because I watch Duke. I don't know. Alex Sarr is special. I really like this kid. If you go watch some of the clips and think of Duke season, some of the bigger games that he played, just think if he played in them games earlier in the season, like a Texas Tech game. Just watch when what was the game y'all just Duke played last week when Sarr, he hit I think it was a North Carolina game.
Yeah.
So that tripped me out because I missed the last couple minutes, but I was tripped out when I seen the fact that y'all lost that game as close as it was because the way Sarr was playing in that game, unbelievable. So I still think he's the glue to that Duke team. That's just how I see that team. If he don't play good, Duke really could get handled. But if he plays good, but then play great, Duke is on another level because that means the Boozers is available on screens up top. That means the younger brother, not Caden, the opposite. He's hitting threes, as well as we've seen Big Booz step out and shoot the 3 ball lately. So I think this Duke team is like UConn. We talk about them. But we don't talk about them in that aspect of knowing. We just say Boozer is the #1 top pick. Outside of that, I think this Duke team can make. It's a lot of teams that can really make a run, man.
Why you ain't trying to let me get Milligram hot real quick, man? Let me get her hot. Let me just.
She already hot, Zay.
I'm glad you're breaking out, but I'm gonna be watching my back at work because I know you don't play about your Dukies.
Beatable. We've been beat twice, but we've also given it away under 3 minutes. I'm so scared of it. Got to rely on Malik Brown. We can't Carlos Scott.
We cannot hear nothing you saying, Milligram.
I think Zay trying to start some beef anyway. He wants you to go back out and come back in.
I think it's him because I know where he's at and I know the Wi-Fi there.
I ain't there though. Look, you think you know where I'm at. I ain't there.
I got you. Don't worry.
Oh snap!
Zay gonna be dodging MG like he's gonna be preparing for this great start of this college football season because he's gonna be having a dodge because I know it's gonna be another battle about that first game of the season on college football.
Nah, but listen though, I really feel like it's no unbeatable teams though. Like honestly, with all honesty, like I don't think there's not one team that I can identify that really don't have a weakness. I feel like Duke's weakness kind of got exposed when they played North Carolina. If you got some upper echelon talented bigs, you can get Duke. You can get them.
I'm going to stop you right there because they had 1 foul in 20 minutes. Henry Vasar had 0 fouls defending Cam Boozer. 0.
Playing defense without fouling is a skill.
It's pure luck in college basketball. You can't tell me there's not one foul on.
Elite Eight. Elite Eight.
And I'm not saying we didn't deserve to lose that game because we gave it away at the end, but you tell me one foul on him college.
Hey, they talk about your chef skills in the comment section, Moss. Courtney Grisby.
Oh, it's one of my I think one of my workers, Miss Courtney. I just started working with this week. Just started working with last week, Miss Courtney. Appreciate you coming in and tuning in as well, Miss Courtney. Man, that's appreciated, man. I don't be realizing how many people actually sometimes listen or hit that, notification and subscribe button when I'm doing what I'm doing, if I'm yelling at people or even telling my coworkers. But I definitely appreciate the support all throughout. And I was in the chat. I just hit 400 subscribers. I woke up this morning. I noticed I have 400 subscribers, man. It wouldn't be possible without you all. I appreciate everyone that's tuned in, whether it's been a post, anything that you've seen, liked, comment, the live streams. I totally appreciate it. We all appreciate it here because we love what we do and we try to just bring something to you every day. And it's going to be some great conversations with Mossberg coming up for you as well. Looking to try to bring a few new faces to the show this year as well. Also, and just, in talks with a few of the City League coaches, man. Can't wait till we get that conversation on here. A lot of conference tournaments coming up and tournaments for the high school basketball. So once those things finish up, I'll definitely be getting into some of those great conversations as well.
All right. Anything else y'all want to talk about before we wrap up the show? We're just right at an hour and 22 minutes. Anything else y'all want to talk about before we wrap up?
Shout out to
because
Go ahead, Ms. Mary.
I said say bye to Isaiah because I'm going to end him.
I'd say, man, shout out to the Cincinnati Stars, man, girls team, man, back-to-back City League championship titles, man. Like
all that yesterday.
That's big, man. I think we need to, really get out, man, and put everything to the side, man. Whatever it is that we got going on, sometimes if it's beef, we need to squash it nowadays because this young generation is looking up to us. And from when I played high school basketball, it's starting to look like that competition and rivalries is building a little more. And I would love to see that. So if you're watching, if you're a parent in the city, man, we know the city don't get all the respect and, it's so much that go on, but keep your kid in the city, man. We want to see some of these rivalries like it used to be. For those who could be a village, man, step out, be part of that village to make sure the community is moving in a way that it can. I know Unc was a part of that, for us growing up, just always making sure that, we were doing what we needed to do. If he had to bust our ass, if we walking up the street, he had the ability to do that. We need to get back to that so we could have that understanding that everyone does care about each other. Everybody can step outside and light that barbecue grill and pass a burger down a couple houses down, and it's going to be cool. Nothing's going to be wrong with it. So, I wish we could just get back to those type of things and show these children, the youth that's coming up today that, bygones could be bygones. It's more life and it's more to life. We just got to let those things happen and let it go, So I'm definitely, here for it all. Make sure you check in with Level Up Sports 10 on Instagram as well for all those edits. Y'all see everything at the bottom. You got Blissberg Podcast. You got Post Game 86. You got City League TV on Facebook as well. You got One Take Zay. You see SEC Sean. Doug, don't hide your face because he coming for us. That's Doug down there, man. And we got conversations coming for you as well. And that's Miss Graham, MG, one of our own from the great Windsor Academy. And I can't wait to get part 2 of your Duke talk because we got some talking to do about this before March Madness because I know you think they can make a run. Anything else anybody got to say this morning?
Elite Eight.
You're out of here.
Yeah, that was a banger, man. That was a banger yesterday. That city championship, man. It was so loud in that building, man. I can't wait to watch the boys go at it, man. The same two schools, Centennial, Afro Century. It's gonna be another banger, man. Saturday at noon at East High School for sure. Show up.
Shout out to City League TV. You were
He
in
will
the
be in the building for
one
sure.
take Zay in the building with you, man. It was good. Like I love watching it when you guys is doing what you do. And, they know what we doing, man. They see us. Don't forget, go watch that groundbreaking stream this week. We was in OCC Country live stream. That was a groundbreaking stream. So make sure you go check that out. City League TV. We see you. We see you out there working, and we know you got your black and white stripes on today, somewhere in the city.
So, just a real quick question, kind of related back to what we've done in the past here. Did we ever do a end of the season recap on Florida State football?
Nah, y'all. Look,
Hold on a second. Hold on a second. We're going to do it
right
right now. We're going to start the Florida State end of season recap right now. 3, 2,
because I ain't got my write up.
We're done.
All right, that's all we need to talk about.
I'm gonna get you SEC.
Some real quick Olympic update, real quick. We got the women hockey team playing Sweden tomorrow for the semifinals. Canada plays Switzerland. I'm not sure how Switzerland's in the semifinal, considering their record is 0-3, but whatever. Don't know how that happened.
Didn't they play last night? I feel like
they may have played last night, but I'm just going off what the thing shows. But it says probably tonight for the semifinals, but it shows Monday. You know how, because they're in Italy.
Yeah.
But you also have speed skating tonight. You have ski jumping off the large hill. And then an event that is perfectly named. It's called the skeleton. It's where you lay on a sled and go head first down the bobsled track. And I think it's because you have more of a chance to be a skeleton when you're done than finish.
Yeah, you're like an inch from that.
Yeah, there's no way I'm putting my head face down on some ice going 80 miles an hour head first down a.
They going down the bobsled thing?
Yeah.
Oh, no.
80 miles an hour head first.
What's that? Hey, where can we find that? NBC? Is that NBC?
Peacock, NBC,
US.
The speed skating championship.
USA, any of the NBC channels. You can find it on.
Because that speed skating, them two in that speed skating, they're like they're speed, they're fast.
I gotta say, this is one of the better Winter Olympics for the US.
Yeah.
I mean, we got 17 medals. We're in third place in the medal count, and our best figure skater dude, who's from Virginia, is like they call him the quad god.
Bombed it.
He bombed it, yeah. Fell twice. And he was the hands down gold medal champ. He was given the gold medal before the game started and finished 8th.
Quad gave up on him.
Yeah, I guess.
She said,
Sniper.
Leave it to say.
get enough squats in.
That's one sport I don't understand, because they tell me they're going to do a quad lutz and a quad axle, and I see them do the same thing in there. I don't know what the difference is. So
it's something with the feet and how they take off, but it's still jumping in the air and moving around for.
Yeah, my wife says it's the landing too, something to do with how they land.
Possibly.
I have no idea. I just know that it's crap I could never do.
Right.
It's like you gotta watch like the pulley systems. That's what that figure skating. That's what those relate to. Like the way they coming off the ice and hitting the ice. It's crazy. I'm looking forward to that speed skating final, because them were too special. I think the Netherlands, and I forget where the other guy is from. They've been talking about that all morning so far.
All right, y'all. Well, President, we need you to pardon one more person, Melissa Graham, because she's taking Isaiah out. And
yes, make sure send that one through, man. I know what I said earlier, but send that one through.
And we got the Daytona I mentioned earlier. Real quick, Rob and Doug, y'all will like this here. We always catch grief being SEC guys for how we're down in football, we're down in basketball, but just remember, This is the SEC season now. We own college baseball.
Own college baseball.
Own college baseball. Okay.
And
you
college
watching-
softball.
My
And
Seminoles
college
on
softball,
today,
yeah.
right? My
Softball's
Seminoles-
pretty good, man. Softball team's
And
pretty good,
track.
but so is Texas.
Hey, we don't mind y'all owning the sports that don't really make no money.
No, they make money. You just got to be
Oh,
good at them.
softball
They
makes
make money.
the fourth most money in college sports right now.
Yeah.
Was that $3 million a year?
That's still fourth behind football, basketball.
That's $3 million more than I got.
For real.
All right, y'all. Y'all have a good rest of y'all's day, man. And we'll be back again on Tuesday at 7:45. We might even be back tomorrow. For those of us who are off, we might be able to sneak something in tomorrow morning. So tune
I'm
in,
gonna
hit
go
that
live
notification bell.
I'm going to go live tomorrow evening when I'm off work.
Okay.
That'll be our Daytona NASCAR recap.
All right, cool. All right, well, y'all have a good one, and we'll be talking soon.
All right.
Peace.
Peace. Have a great day.